Hey guys, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the money talk, and oops, I forgot to put this in, and relationships. Right. Relationships are an interesting thing, but they're a really important thing when it comes to starting your financial future. Because if you're involved with someone and they spend a lot of money, what are you going to do if you start saving a lot of money and you have to put that, or you're trying to put that into an account, and then, he or she takes your money, or he or she, or you're taking all of their money. So think about that when you're thinking about investing. You need to really have the money talk on what you guys plan on doing together to get ahead and reach your goals. And I think that's the really important factor that needs to come into play. What goals do you two, or whatever your relationship is, have for the foreseeable future in the next, year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? You need to start thinking about these things now, and it might be a really hard topic to talk about, but if you don't talk about it now, how are you supposed to take control over it in the future? So, do you both like to invest and save? If you have one person that likes to spend a lot of money and you have one other person that likes to save a lot of money, then this just ends up balancing out, and then you end up with a situation where you don't really get ahead and you just kind of do this for the rest of your life, and then what? And I think when you're trying to reach financial security and reach retirement where you don't have to work anymore, you need to be able to do this. More time, as time goes by, the more money you make and the more likely you are to retire. Does he or she have debt? That's a really important factor. If you're marrying someone, you're kind of accepting their debt and you're taking on their debt. Some people will tell you that a prenup is really important if you're going to get married, but some people will also find that really offensive when you get married to somebody, because they're like, well, why do I need a prenup? You do not trust me? And that's something that you really need to discuss is, are you fiscally responsible at this point in your life? Or, are you saving lots of money? Are you spending lots of money? I think going into a marriage with zero debt is really important. That includes getting married and with money in the savings and money that you could then put ahead towards your first home. You don't want to be going into a financial situation where you're going into debt, you're collecting more debt, and then you're collecting more debt. That's just how you end up losing your home years down the road, and you don't really want that to happen. So figure out how much debt you have, how much debt she has, how do you get out from underneath that, paying off all your credit card debts. I've talked about some of these things on previous videos, so feel free to go back and look at how to take control over some of your finances. I think that's a really important thing. Before you even start thinking about your financial future, you need to start thinking about how the two of you could, or whatever, could really figure out how to get ahead. Does he or she have a 401k? This is actually a really interesting thing. Some of the wealthiest people in the world, they don't just have one brokerage account. Now, they may have one that they actively manage themselves, which I personally like to manage my finances. I'm one of those weird people that are like out there and I'm like, oh man, this company is doing really well right now. They have a really good balance sheet. I do a lot of research after I get off work. It's a very time-consuming thing to constantly look up companies that have potential to do really well over the next 10 years. But the cool part about a 401k is that your company that you work for is matching your money that you put into a retirement account. So I think for the long term, you've got your money going in here, you've got your money that you're saving into your own personal brokerage account, and then if your significant other is doing the same thing, if they have a 401k that's available to them, they're putting the money away every single month, and then they're doing their own active investments, boy, you're really setting yourself up for financial success, I think, that way, because you've got four total different saving methods that's focusing towards your retirement. And or maybe it's just something to get ahead. Maybe you're investing into the stock market so that 10 years down the road, if you're 20 and you're looking to buy your first home when you're 30, you could put like $110,000 or $120,000 down on your first home, and that could really save on what you have to pay every month, and then you could pay extra and get your home paid off, you know, in 5-10 years, and then turn that into something that generates you money that ends up being passive income, which we'll be talking about in a further video. So I want you to really start thinking about those things right now, especially if you're really young. If you're really old, you could still do this too. As you get into your 40s and 50s, you can start putting more money, I think, away towards retirement that will not be taxed into your 401k, which is really cool. So I want you to have an active manage account and a passive manage account. I think that's a really important thing if you're looking for financial success, and for your significant other to have the same thing. I hope you guys like this video. Like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike the video, and if you really like the video, please subscribe